everyone. Welcome to this week's episode of Global Domination, where we have the pleasure of a social media built agent broker out of Indianapolis, Indiana, Summer Hudson, everybody. Welcome to the show. And I love this because I'm a 46-year-old. I've been in real estate 25 years. And so, yeah, the Facebooks, the LinkedIn, those I'm comfortable with, those I know. But we're going to dive into how you have built one heck of a real estate business on TikTok and Instagram, right?
Yes, correct.
Awesome. All right, let's start at the beginning. When did you get into real estate, Summer?
So before I got into real estate, I was a social worker.
Okay.
I did that for many years. I got sick of the politics of it. It was just a rough. I wasn't making a whole lot of money. And somebody was like, "Oh, you should do real estate. You could make your own hours and all this stuff." And I thought, "Oh, that sounds wonderful." So I've been a real estate agent for about 8 years.
Awesome. And so what brokerage did you start at?
I started with a boutique brokerage, like a really tiny in-house brokerage. There was maybe like 4 of us total.
Okay.
And then I grew from there.
Yeah, absolutely. Okay. So when did your, the first few years in the business, how was your real estate business? Was it awesome? Was it great? What were you doing to obtain clients? All that good stuff.
So I originally am not from Indianapolis. So when I moved here, it was a culture shock. I didn't have any friends, I didn't have any family. I had nothing to build off of. I was at ground zero.
No sphere of influence.
None. Goose egg, nothing. I didn't even have like kids in school. I had nothing. So I really was like, okay, the only way that I know how to reach people in my community is through social media. Of course, Facebook, Instagram, that kind of thing. and so my first year, I closed 24 deals, but I closed them mostly from Instagram at that time.
That is amazing. Here's what I love about this is it's not like you were a marketing person ever in your career. You were a social worker, and no offense, but I don't see social workers doing anything on social media, right? They got to keep everything behind closed doors. And so, then 24 transactions in your first year, that's mind blowing. But how did you do that on Instagram? Walk us through that process.
So, I think people are forgetting that social media has kind of taken over the lunches with people. Like it's your main form of contact. We don't send birthday cards anymore. We say happy birthday on Facebook. We don't ask how people are doing. We send text messages. Like it's now so digitalized and you're so far removed that I started to realize that people still ultimately at the end of the day want to connect. Like when you do get a card in the mail, you're like, oh my God, I got a card in the mail. So I tried to take that mindset of people still want to be talked to. They still want to be connected with. And I really tried hard to reach out to people and make sure that when they shared something about their life on social media, I was right there to congratulate them, tell them thank you, tell them encouraging words. I did a lot of supporting businesses. If a brand new Chinese restaurant opened, I would be right there to say, oh my gosh, I went and had your Chinese food. It was delicious. Thank you. I commented a lot. I'm already on there. Most of us are already scrolling in bed at night anyway. It takes you 2 more seconds to send a little comment while you're scrolling saying, hello, I love your dress. That burger looks delicious, whatever it is.
That's awesome. And I say this all the time with, building a business, whether it's on the real estate side of production that I'm doing, or whether it's on the agent attraction side. We have to make relationship deposits. And those can be done in many different forms, right? Picking up the phone, sending a text, whatever. I love that you're making relationship deposits in all these different by commenting, because you're right. It's right there. All we've got to do is do that. And so you weren't focused on just listed, just sold. See, I love that.
If you look at my Instagram, even now, even 8 years later, if you look at my Instagram, even if you scroll back, you will not find not one picture of me in front of a house with the word sold, just sold, 4 days on the market, whatever it is, not one. Because at the end of the day, you have to remember that most of these platforms as a business owner, you almost have to treat it like your clients are 1, nosy, and 2, they're selfish. What information are you giving me? And telling them that I sold a house doesn't help them. It's not inspiring to them. They really don't care. But if I say to them, how did I sell this house so quickly? Now that's a different conversation.
Okay, so let's talk through that. So, what gets you the most attention when you're posting, whether it's Instagram, TikTok? I mean, obviously, it's probably video, right?
Yeah. So TikTok is my bread and butter. I stumbled into TikTok during COVID. I had seen the app being talked about. I know kids were talking about it, and I was like, "What is this? This is weird." And initially, I was at a Facebook. I was at an open house. I was sitting there. I was dying. Nobody was showing up, and I popped onto Facebook Live, and I was like, "Hey, I'm at an open house. I'm going to show you guys around the house while I'm sitting here." And I had people tuning in from all over, and I was like, "Oh, you'll watch my video, but you won't come actually see me at the open house." And then I realized, like, oh, people don't want to get in their car and drive, just like they would rather just see it from the comfort of their own home. And then when COVID hit, that was even more so. So with the idea, like, okay, well, it's successful on Instagram on the stories when I post, lives inside people's houses, and it's successful on Facebook Live. What if I did the same thing and replicated that in TikTok? So on TikTok, I just started touring houses and showing people what the market looked like. It was crazy. I had one post go viral. That's all it took. And I woke up in the morning with a bajillion followers. It was nuts.
Let's talk about that because I know this story, but I want you to tell the story because people watching today and people that are going to see this in the future on YouTube and all the other places, they want to hear the story. So share that.
So initially my TikTok, if you go back to some of my first TikToks, they're terrible. I'm don't even know how to use the video properly. But I had a client reach out to me and say, "Hey, there's this really old house that I want to see. It's in a cornfield." And I was like, "Girl, if you get me killed out here, so help me God." So just being funny, I recorded this property. It was probably built in the early 1800s. It was super creepy. I added this like spooky music to it. And we're kind of walking around the house, scaring each other and talking about how, like, I bet there's ghosts. And I posted it thinking nothing of it. I woke up to 800,000 views and like 3,000 followers immediately. And I was like, oh my gosh. And I called her and I was like, I can't believe people are watching this. And she was like, just keep doing it then. Like, if that worked, then just keep doing it. So I did.
That is so awesome. And this is the point that we have to make is, so many agents, brokers, they are intimidated, including myself. We're intimidated to get on the video. Obviously, I get on video because we're doing this, but we're intimidated to go posting things on Instagram or TikTok, because we're not sure exactly how it all works. You just did it though. I mean, you weren't sure. You just started doing it. It wasn't that difficult. There's no editing. You're not paying a movie crew to follow you around. You're utilizing your iPhone and that's it.
That's it. My iPhone. I have no gimbal. I have no steadying equipment. I have no microphone. I have nothing. It's literally my iPhone and myself. And the thing is, I realized that the more authentic I am to myself and the more I show people who I am, that's that whole discussion that you hear people say they want to like and get to know you. That's how they like and get to know you, is that they see your personality come through your videos. So I still don't know how to use TikTok. I know that sounds crazy, but all these people doing all these editing and things in the background and, green screen. I can't.
You don't do any of it. It's all real. It's just all authentic and it's working just fine. No reason to change course, no reason to invest. I mean, that's what I like about this. We were a couple months ago in September, you taught at my house. We had about 70 agents come and you shared exactly what it is you're doing. And literally everybody that's watching, that is what she's doing. She's using the phone. There's nothing of edit. There's no spending time cutting video. It's live and it's out.
That's it.
Live and out.
And if I make a mistake, it stays. Because I don't know about you guys, but there are a lot of keyboard warriors out there who love to correct you and love to tell you that you're wrong. And so for me, at one point I had said there was a really beautiful mosaic tile in a bathroom and it was a picture of a flamingo and it was beautiful. And I said, oh my God, what a beautiful penguin. I didn't even know that I said it. I posted the video and I had almost 100,000 comments of people going, that's not a flamingo. That's not a penguin. That's a flamingo. And the thing is, I could have gone back, I could have erased it, I could have fixed it, I could have whatever, but I had over 100,000 people commenting in my algorithm. Thank you.
Well, and every time they kept commenting, they kept bringing you up in the feed. The algorithm's reading it. Summer Hudson needs to be shown to more people. And so that's exactly how it works. So it's not a bad thing that you said something wrong, because you may not have, you might have only gotten 4 or 5 comments if you hadn't done that.
Right. And then I made a follow-up video that was like, okay, guys, I know I made a mistake, but still, I mean, if people are nasty or rude to me in the comments, I leave it, because one, that lets them show themselves, because that's not my problem. And two, it's engagement at the end of the day, because somebody could see their comment and get offended by it. And then somebody else is commenting to that person. It just continues to spiral on itself. And I just sit back and watch people and say, you know what, I'm just here for the houses.
That's awesome. I love it. So, okay. So during COVID, you really started to utilize video. So you went from 24, solid deals, your very first year, rookie, former social worker turned real estate sales expert. I mean, amazing, right? And then incorporating TikTok, because your numbers are huge. I love this.
Yeah. So, on average, I was doing between 20 and 30 something deals a year.
And these are good deals, guys. This isn't like she's out selling $10,000 pieces of property either. This is good, solid, above average real estate deals, making great money.
Yeah. And I definitely, my price point raised every year. When my first year, those 24 deals were in the, our median here in Indianapolis is about 300. I was selling like 150s the first year. Then the next year it was 2. Then it was, you raise, like you just keep getting better and better. And I just got a TikTok buyer that was an $800,000 buyer just recently. He's one of 4 or 5 I've had this year already. But yeah, this year, as of right now, I will have closed 90 deals. Of those 90 deals as a solo agent, I have to say probably 83 of them were straight from TikTok.
83 deals from TikTok. So everybody out there, including myself, I'll tell on myself, that thinks TikTok is, I don't need to go there, right?
Yeah.
We need to go there. We do. We need to go there. I mean, this is, I think back to the day that I got into real estate in 1999. And from 1999 to solid, probably 2010, 2011, we were spending thousands of dollars every single weekend on advertisements in the newspaper, folks. It was crazy how much, when I was selling real estate and I was doing a lot of deals, I was still spending close to $5,500 a month on newspaper ads because we had to advertise. And so I think of the potential that all agents have, no matter what age bracket, no matter what they've done, whether they're brand spanking new, whether they've been in the business 30 years, and to incorporate something so simple, to build a business like you have. I mean, you've got to say wow to that. It's just wow. Very good for you.
Yeah. And the cool thing that I'm starting to, and it's taken me a little bit. I mean, this was not an overnight, like I got it. This was all trial and error. I started getting leads from TikTok and I was like, oh my gosh, I'm getting flooded. What do I do? I had to immediately get systems in place. If the person clicks on my name, then what happens? Do they get an email from me? Do they get a hello text? And it just had to build on itself. So some of the money that I saved in lead generation, I had to spend a little bit on figuring out my systems. But now I don't buy Zillow leads. I don't buy TikTok leads. I don't put when you look at my business plan for the year, there is $0 put into lead generation online anywhere. However, what's cool is that now frees up my money to do really cool events for my clients. So like I just rented a drive-in movie theater and I had all my clients come to the drive-in movie theater and we had a blast. And so it's like, I finally get to put my money where I want to, instead of funneling it right back into lead generation sources that like may or may not pan out.
I'm so glad to hear that. And I love it when I speak to agents on the residential side of real estate that say they're not buying leads, because, it's crazy that Zillow alone last year sold over 660 million leads, But guys, gals, there was only $5.4 million single family homes or residential, actually residential, that transferred in the entire United States. So think of how much money is wasted on buying leads that don't amount to anything. And so you know, getting in your uncomfortable zone for the first few times, putting out the video, doing what you're doing has just resulted in such a positive income. And, you know, I mean, you've operated in the black since day one, and very few realtors can say that. You know, we always have to go a little bit in the hole, you know, because the rule of thumb has been you got to spend money to make money. Well, not if you want to get a little uncomfortable and pull out the Summer Hudson way of doing business. So kudos to you. That's awesome.
And the thing is, really, you know, I think we get so caught up in trying to come up with the newest trend or what's happening on social media or the algorithms and all these things. I don't check my algorithm. I don't check and see how many people have liked this particular thing at this particular moment to make sure I replicate it again. I have realized that social media really comes down to how you make people feel. And that's it. It doesn't matter what platform you're on, Facebook, Instagram, LinkedIn, how are you making people feel? And I think if you start to really focus on, if I'm going to post this video, how is it going to make somebody feel? Right. Are they going to feel empowered? Are they going to feel educated? Are they going to feel happy? Whatever the emotion is that you're trying to invoke, you're going to find that the algorithm actually starts to align you with people that are like you. That's what those apps are created for. They're created to keep people together that are like-minded. So I have found that the leads that I do get are loyal to me because they already like and know me from seeing me be authentically myself. So every time you're on TikTok or Facebook or Instagram and you're like, oh, Susie's doing it this way, so I'm going to try and do it that way. Don't. Yeah. If you own chickens, go show us your chickens. Like talk about how buying a house in these particular areas allow you to have chickens or, you know, whatever. There's always something that you can contribute that other people aren't.
Yeah, absolutely. So you're out touring homes. You're always showcasing on TikTok and, you know, that's bringing leads in. Prior to us getting on this call, you've been showing properties since you woke up this morning nonstop in a market, you all, for the timestamp of future. You know, we're in the highest interest rate period that we've had in decades, right? You know, a lot of real estate agents are slow right now because things have slowed down. We're right before Thanksgiving, which the holidays are coming up. Things are slowing down. It's typical during this time of year. And here you've shown more houses today than some agents have shown all month.
Yeah. This morning I got up at like 8:30 and I've shown 17 houses today. Right up until we had our
at 2:00. I mean, you know, from that is amazing. 17 property showings and 100% from TikTok.
Yep. And I while I was showing those houses, I had 2 leads come in from TikTok on top of that.
See, that is just impressive. I love that. And here's what else I love. You know, you see this Grow Global around here. Summer and I are part of the Grow Global organization at EXP. That's where both of our licenses are held. I know Summer and have really gotten to know you over the past several months because you have been taking your time helping all of us get excited, sharing your knowledge. You know, there's several of you that do this really, really well, and you're so kind and so great to help us all. And I'm excited because soon you're going to be rolling that out to more agents across the country, and might as well, you know, be able to have that coaching program because you're so great at it. I mean, that is a next step for you. So that's phenomenal.
Yeah, I'm excited. I love helping. You know, I'm from a collaboration mindset more than a competition. I think that we all are unique in some way. We just don't realize it. And I think that once we start to really focus on what's cool and unique about you, you will thrive in a market that feels like you're not thriving, because people really enjoy you for your authentic self.
That's so true. And look, anytime a market pivots, shifts, changes, slows, whatever the case might be, there's always opportunity in it. And it's those of us that find that opportunity and apply our niche that we're great at that excel no matter what's going on. In the first, you know, downturn of 2008, when people were falling out of the business, I developed a way to master that market. And, and that's what we're doing. And, now it's a little bit different with the rates being high, but guys, there's business out there. There's so much business out there. You're just not looking in the right places. Or like Summer's proven is they're looking, you're not there. She is. And that's the key to today is that you're there, they're finding you, you're offering guidance. You said it earlier, and this has been true all the entire rule of sales. People do business with people they like, know, and trust. They feel like they like her. They feel like they know her because you're exposing so much of who you are, your authentic self, through these unprofessional videos, and they're coming to you. And so that's what all this is about. And so we tell everyone, if you're an agent out there that's having just a little bit of struggle, or maybe you're stuck in that rut, or maybe you're looking for what is next, how can I expand my business? How can I leverage relationships in this business to improve upon your career? That's what Summer and I are here for. We want you to reach out. We want to have that conversation. This is about how, we all collaborate and we grow global together. But it's pretty tremendous, Summer. You will inspire me to get on TikTok. I know every time we talk, I say that, but I've got to do it. And then my 14-year-old's like, Mom, I'll run your TikTok. And I'm thinking, I don't know about a 14-year-old running it, but maybe I should just say yes. What do you think?
Listen, just say yes. Honestly, the worst thing that can happen is it goes viral, and then you wake up and you're like, wow, I got a bunch of followers, and now you can continue it. And here's another point I also want to make that people I think are missing about social media, and maybe this will help it click. When we, I don't know about you guys, I'm 41. So I'm still in that era of like, we went from encyclopedias to Google, right? Yeah. Everything you Googled or Binged or whatever. If you wanted to find out what was happening, you Google. The population today, are the generations under me, don't use Google. They don't use encyclopedias for sure. They're using social media as their search engine. So they're going to Instagram in the little hashtag bar and typing Indianapolis Realtor or California Realtor or whatever. And they're looking to see who shows up in the social media, who shows up on TikTok as an Indianapolis Realtor. And I tell you what, it's going to be me.
That's awesome.
And so even when I'm referring out to other agents, I look first to see if they have social media presence. And if they don't, I move on to somebody that does, because I know that they're going to be searchable, and I know that they're going to be better at marketing.
That's so true. And it's you're right about that, because I watch my girls that are 17 and 14, and you're right. I saw it on TikTok. And I'm like, TikTok. If it's on TikTok, it must be right. Not Mom's wrong, but you're right. That's where they're going. That's where they're looking. And that's why they have had this sense of urgency to put Mom there, because they said, Mom, you're everywhere else, but you're nowhere on TikTok, and that's your own fault. And they're right, so, well, that's amazing. Your business has not slowed. It's because you're consistently doing this. How often are you posting? How often are you, keeping up with everything you're doing on TikTok?
So I make sure I post once a day. I know that feels daunting to a lot of people, but you can do what's called batching. You can take a Saturday, record as many videos as you want, save them in your drafts, and during the week you release one. You just say, you get up in the morning, you look at your drafts and say, yeah, that one looks good, and you put it out. So it doesn't have to be an everyday thing. You can post every day without posting every day.
That's cool. Very cool. Very good too. Yeah. I mean, anything outside of, the touring homes, I know you're touring businesses, or anything else that really gets attention for you when you're diving in or posting on social media?
So I've really tried to start doing hidden gem areas in neighborhoods. So if I find a really good place to get tacos, it's like a hole in the wall, and I'm afraid, like, I don't know if this is going to make me regret this or not, I will TikTok it and say, hey, look, I'm in this neighborhood. I pulled over because I saw this taqueria place. I'm going to go inside. Let's go take a look. Let's order something. I give a review. And the thing is, I then become a neighborhood expert about the things that are in the communities as well. Mm-hmm. So it's not just, hey, I'm really good at helping you find cool houses, but also, hey, I'm also hyper local, and I'm in your neighborhood finding really cool places to eat or hang out or get entertainment. And I find that those videos also do really well.
That is a great idea. I mean, that's, that's the whole thing is that it's not just about knowing the real estate, it's knowing the whole entire neighborhood, especially if somebody's coming from another area, because they're going to want to understand, what's around there. What are they going to do outside of their home? So that's genius.
Yeah. So my platform is mostly, I've niched myself into historic and unique properties. I have an agent that joined my team. She goes by New Home Nana. She's an older lady. She loves new builds. That's her jam. So all of her TikToks are about new builds, the new build process. What can you negotiate? What does it look like on, to buy the lot? All those things. And that's her niche. And so then I do the hidden gems where I go to different places and I find a furniture store that's really cool. And I've just recently started doing on Wednesdays, going to the local pet shelter and featuring a pet that needs to be fostered or adopted.
Aww.
And my slogan is, I don't just help people find houses, I help pets find houses too.
Aww.
So that's just another way to show like this is who I am and this is what I believe in. These are organizations that I care about. So that it shows some humanity, like it shows that I'm not just a person behind the screen that's being salesy. I have a heart. I have things that I do with my kid,
Yeah.
So
well, and with as much attention and followers that you've created, you're helping save, a dog's life by doing that as well too. So that, I mean, who doesn't want to help a puppy?
No. So, I figure if I have this big of a following, the least I can do is to use my platform for good.
Yeah.
And even if I've had a couple of successful adoptions come out of it. And even if I've saved 2 dogs, like that's worth it to me. So
I love it. I love it. Well, Summer, here's what I love too. And again, we haven't talked much about this, but doing 90 deals this year, you did 60, 70 last year, somewhere in that neighborhood.
I think it was like 50, something like
50,
that.
50, but you have been what's called an icon agent at EXP since your first time coming to EXP, right? Which, how long now?
What's this November? I started January 1st.
Yeah.
So yeah, I joined EXP just because I felt like it was the right switch for me and what I was trying to do with my brand. It just made sense. And so when I came along, I had a lot of hand holding. I had a lot of support, which I loved. And like 2 months later, I got a phone call and they're like, you iconed. And I'm like, what is that? Like, I didn't even know because I was so new. I didn't even know everything there was to know about the brokerage and what it offered. So I was really excited because I got some recognition and I had just started and I was like, I don't even know what this is, but that's awesome.
And, so you got the trophy, you got the certificate, but more importantly, you all, she got her cap back in stock, which is tremendous. And so congratulations that now you have $16,000 worth of EXPI stock, which is a multi-billion-dollar publicly traded company. And so if that's not sprinkles on the cupcake, I don't know what is, right?
Yeah, I didn't know what I didn't know in the beginning. And when they were like, congratulations, I was like, thanks, but I'm not sure why this is so exciting. And then when I saw the number, that I'm getting that technically back, and I was like, oh my gosh, that's so awesome. So
you kept all your money. You kept all your money. You were at a phenomenal brokerage. You got access to the technology tools, CRMs, everything that you need to be able to do that single-handed business that allows you to do 90 transactions. I mean, think about that. There are agents out there going, how in the heck did you handle 90 transactions by yourself? Well, it's because we have those systems built and we're able to do that. And then the collaboration on top of it, of the relationships that we've made. You and I wouldn't have known each other. I'm in Louisville, Kentucky. You're in Indianapolis, but I mean, we would have never crossed paths because I wouldn't be watching you on TikTok because I don't even know how to log in, right?
Yeah, I have to say my favorite part so far about the brokerage period, regardless of stocks, regardless of, I mean, of everything, by far the best thing I've gotten so far from the brokerage is the companionship and the collaboration. I met you and I called you because I had something that I was like, I don't know how to do this thing. Yeah. And it's like, I know if ever you need anything TikTok, you can call me. And, and it's so nice to have other agents who are wanting to level up and be better in their business and be able to make a quick phone call. And so you may not have the answer, but you can say, you know what? I met this other person at this other event or this thing. Let me call them for you. I have had so much support from this brokerage. It's unreal. I've never had that in any other brokerage ever.
Well, and that, I'm so glad you brought that up, because what's so great about it is when an opportunity comes your way and you're not the expert in it, you no longer have to say no, because someone in our organization is going to be that expert, and they're not going to know just a little bit. They're going to know it all. And that is what I love about this brokerage too, is that we have that connectivity to where the answer can be yes. And we can call upon that specialist to hold our hand and make sure we land that deal. And that's what this brokerage is all about. So I'm grateful for it. We're going to do some great stuff. You're going to be doing some development stuff up in Indy. You're going to get stuff done that nobody's done up there. And, you know, you're going to put it all over TikTok. Tell everybody, what is your handle to find you on TikTok?
So TikTok, Instagram, LinkedIn, it's all the same. It's Find a Lot to Love.
Find a Lot to Love. And we'll put that in the comments, everybody. Summer, thank you so much for being my business partner. Thank you so much for coming on here today, sharing with everyone your success and how you are just this rock star agent that is doing business. I love that. I love that you are that kind of a person, that you don't keep it a secret. You're good with it. You're good to share and show people exactly how to be successful in this industry. And truthfully, they don't have to have $1 to do it. And I love that. So cool.
Show up as yourself. That's all I preach to everybody, is just show up as yourself, be authentically you, and your tribe, your vibe will attract your tribe. The people will show up.
Absolutely. Well, thank you so much, Summer. We'll see you again real soon. Okay.
Bye, guys.
Bye, everyone.